Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So let's begin with our topic for today, closing the emotional week of Aries. Just to remind you all and for you to know, today has begun the Taurus, the constellation of Taurus. Today has begun the period of Taurus, astrologically talking. But we are going to begin with our physical week of Aries, because remember that we are not following the astrological days. We are following the Atlantean calendar. So, of course, just to take into account, we are beginning with the energy of Taurus in the environment. So let's close with the emotional week of Aries so we can begin with the physical week of Aries. So let's go to the topic for today, which is victory. Victory from let's speak before according to the symbol of victory. For us today, from the human perspective, victory would be something wrong. And why? Because victory, when people does the symbol of victory, is related to be upon others, like when you were able to win over the others, and this means that you have more power, or the other people lose and they are weak or whatever. So it's kind of an idea of someone getting upon the other one. So that's why I say it's negative, because it speaks about the power of one person erasing the power of other one. So as a mistake, this symbol has become like the symbol of peace, but this is not a symbol of peace. This symbol usually is related to someone that won a war, and that's why now there is peace, but not because the two parts were in peace. It's just because some of them won upon the other. So according to a story, I don't know if literally it's true, but that's what I read about it, is that one of the stories from where this symbol came from, is from the War of 100 Years in between England and France, and they kind of got this symbol because the British won the war with two fingers, with arrows and bows. Okay, so that's why when they release the arrows was like this. Okay, so this symbol became like we won upon the other one. So this is defeat, is not peace. Okay, so some people has been using another symbol to transcend this symbol from this, which is division and a power from on the others, to this symbol, which is the unity and equality in all the parts. So that's the symbol. I don't know if you can see it properly. So it's not this, it's this. I usually do this mudra when I am working with energy, or also in the picture. So maybe if you see me like this, you will see it. And I think that it's a very coherent symbol. So as you have seen, the symbols of peace and the symbols of victory are both of them, which are the same, both of them related to the defeat upon other. It's not the peace, it's about defeat. So victory was also a symbol as a goddess for the civilizations that were empires, the ones that believed on the power upon others, like controlling territory, other cultures, and so on. So victory was like this great symbol of winning winning over the others. So for the Romans, victory was the symbol of this lady that had wings and that was flying around the territory, like controlling and putting the dominance of the Roman Empire over the other cultures. So for the Greek people was also the same. For the Greek people was victory. The goddess victory was called Nike. Nike is the goddess of victory, and Nike and victory has the same etymology. Even if they sound really different, they have exactly the same etymology. And I will speak about it just as a curious thing. Nike, the goddess of victory for Greece, is the actual name that the brand of shoes, sneakers, is using, which is Nike. So that's the name. So victory, Nike, come from the same Indo-European word, which is Vik. And Vik means energy and strength. Energy and strength. Actually, this means that that victory talks about the energy and the strength that someone has to have in order to win over the others, to take the power on others. They needed energy and strength. ¿Cómo uno llega a la victoria? Uno llega a la victoria porque gana. Gana. How do we get into victory? Well, because someone wins. And win comes from the word when, that means desire. For someone to accomplish victory, has to win. And what is win? It comes from when, that means desire. And of course, in order to win, we have to go through the competition. So what it means, competition? Competition means with and ask for something or look for something. Okay, so the concept means to ask for something or to look for something with others. So as you see here, this is a concept that is really important to rethink about. So usually when we hear the word competition, we trying to win something against others. But the etymology of competition is saying that we are looking for something with others. Can you see the difference? And of course, what you are looking for is something that you desire, that you wish for it. So once you got that thing that you desire, you won. And it's in that moment when I get the victory, meaning the energy. So let's see this story. Compete, desire, victory. So to compete is to set the intention to look for something with others. Desire is the things that we want, so the things we win, is to win. And once we got that, we reach victory. So let's see it in a different way. So if we see it in this way, we will see that here we have different aspects that are looking for something. What they are looking for is this connection, this main energy, that is the need, the desire. And we reach victory when those two get together and enlight with energy. So let's call this an atom, for example. So think about this as an atom. Imagine that one is an electron, proton, and neutron. So each one of these has a complete different energy, different charges. Some of them negative, like the electron, some of them positive, like the proton. So each one of them has one type of energy, and they need the other one. They are in need of the other one in order to exist, to manifest. So that's why all of them are looking for that energy, which is their desire, the things that they don't have. So they will get together to reach the desire, the need. And when they got together, they create energy, a magnetical field. So now imagine that there are many different things, like molecules. So they will look for another molecules in order to create a magnetical field and energy. We have here many chemical components. They look to make a reaction, and here we have the chemical reaction of that gathering, of that desire. So another way, for example, is when we have cells. Imagine that these are different cells, and the cells, they need energy to live. So they look in between one another, the things that they need. They get together because of a desire, and when they share this energy, they feed themselves. The same thing happened with the organs. Many cells together. Different organs share data, share cells, share proteins, because they have the desire to take data and information in order to survive and transcend. So they start to take action, energy, in order to act. Same thing when we go bigger, individuals, like a plant, an insect, an animal. The plant will need the insect will need the plant, the animal will need the plant, the insect, whatever. So they all need something. They all are looking for something that they need to feed their void. And that will give them energy to live. Same thing will happen with individuals, like monkeys. Each one of these dots are monkeys. 2 masculine, 1 feminine, for example. And these 2 masculine will compete for the feminine because they have a desire to have sex. For what? To have a baby, to keep going in the reproduction, in the constant movement of life. Also, we can have these individuals that they just want to play because they have the desire of getting fun. So by laughing, they create energy. Or we can also say that here we have some people that had a project, or they are in love, and they had this desire of doing things for the world, and they get together in order to accomplish their mission. So what do you see of this system? That in every level, we have different individuals with different charges of energy, different ways that they had a desire, and they had to get together to try to solve this desire in order to accomplish their goals. So what is the goal? The goal is to gain energy for the next cycle. So this repeats once and again, once and again. We call this the cycle of life. So what I want to say about this is that everything in nature is competing in order to win energy. Let's go step by step. Everything in nature competes in order to win energy, to earn energy. So there are many ways to compete. So everything is competing. Now we can understand it from this way. 2 different subjects that are running in order to gain this here. Or we have another different way, which is this one. So we have 2 different ways in which these ones here run in order to get the same thing for themselves, or many that put their own energy in order to create the one that we are looking for. So basically in nature, the organisms work like in the second way. The second way will be that tiny little parts of the nature, they get together to create an organism so they can earn or gain better energy. So we can see here that usually nature creates networks in order to create a better competition. So what it means to compete, remember, everything in the universe is in the nature is trying to earn energy, to gain energy. So competition is about that. The problem that we humans have is that we see the the competition as if it is a war, when it is not that. Competition is the work, the teamwork, in order to gain the victory or to reach the victory, which is energy. Let's go to the basics. An electron and a proton, they don't get together because they love each other. I'm sorry to kill the magic here with love, but they don't get together because they love each other. An electron and one proton, they get together because each one of them has something that the other one needs. So they get together because of that, because they need to share energy. So once they are together, they realize that they can reach much more energy together than being alone. So they start to compete being together, and they start to create bigger organisms in order to reach much more energy. So every day we become more complex organisms. So the question here would be, so what's the end of all this? When do we reach victory? Well, never. Is constant, is eternal. The competition never ends in existence. So, for example, here we can say that the universe is a line of dots. So this line of dots is constant in the universe. So this means that all the dots are one line. But each one of these dots is unique, is an individual inside this constant. So we can say here that each one of these dots is like an individual. So this is alive, and then we die. Alive and die. Life and die. Each space here is like death. And then we have a life. So it's a constant life, but separated in different stages. So this also can say that each one of these dots represents a beginning and an end. Beginning, end, beginning, end. So we can say here that life is a constant of beginnings and ends. So we can understand here that each one of these individuals is looking to accomplish the mission to begin a new one. And then again, another mission to begin a new one. And this is a constant. It keeps going all the time. So we can say, for example, that all this path that we take throughout our life and many lives, is a competition to reach victory. But the truth is that the universe, it doesn't exist like this. It's a constant. So each one of these spots here is a victory by itself. And this explains that victory is basically to gain energy for the next step, and then gain energy for the next step. So now this system can show us that victory is everywhere, because it means to gain energy to move forward in the next step. Like, for example, easy example. You usually eat 3 times a day. You take breakfast, you have lunch, and then dinner. So imagine that one of these is breakfast, the other one is lunch, the other one is dinner. What we are doing here is to gain energy. Our victory is the breakfast, so we can push our energy for a few hours, and then we take another victory, which is lunch, and then we move for another hours, and then we take another victory, which is dinner, and so on. So those are victories for the body. Then you go to sleep, and that's gaining much more energy. Is another victory when you rest, and then you wake up and the cycle starts again. So we eat and sleep to keep following the path. Every day we repeat the same, every month, every week, every year. And that's how we are victorious in each one of the steps. So from this point of view, we can understand that all life is basically victory, because it's the path to gain energy. So this means that basically we don't do all these things to reach the victory, to accomplish victory. It's the opposite. Everything that we do in our life that gives us energy is victory. From the point of view of the body, from biology, every time that you can sleep, every time that you get to eat, every time that you can drink is a victory. So I just wanted to wrap this idea with a mistake that we usually as humans do, which is to separate communism with capitalism, like two things, when it's not like that. Let's go from this point of view about capitalism and communism in nature to understand about this victory. First of all, let's try to understand this. Nature is capitalistic. Nature is capitalistic. Whether you like it or not, is like that. Why? Because every particle in the universe is exchanging energy. And when something is exchanging some kind of energy, is capitalism. Because it's exchanging data. And the reason why these particles get together is in order to exchange it better and to gain much more opportunities to get much more energy. That's why complex organisms appear like we do, from a bacteria to a human. Is capitalistic. Okay. The thing here is that nature, in order to administrate this capitalism, uses the system of communism, which is that they administrate all these goods of energy in communities that we call organs. So they are common to one another. They share as organisms. The capitalism is the system that the nature uses to exchange energy. And the communism is the system that they do in order to administrate that energy. So this is why victory in life can only work when capitalism and communism work in coherent, together as one. The only problem that we have with communism and capitalism is that we have governments and nature doesn't have governments. Because nature is free, is libertarian by nature. The different organisms, the different cells interact by resonance to one another. They interact by resonance. They don't need anybody to say to them what to do. Okay? So victory is life. Victory means life, is the energy of life. So whatever system, it doesn't matter from which belief, has people inside with hunger and not being able to reach energy, it means that that system has failed. A system like that in nature doesn't work, because nature can only be victorious. So in order for a system to be victorious, there should not be anyone from above giving energy to others. Each cell must create its own energy. And the only reason why these individuals cannot create their own energy is because there is someone above, some people above, that holds their energy in order to take power. And normally, it's not the rich people. That's another thing about victory. To be victorious is not to be rich. The thing here is that it's not about the rich people that hold poor people. No. It's about the people that is afraid of losing control, which doesn't have to be rich. It's about the ones that wants to have the control. One of the biggest mistakes that we can have in our human systems is that the belief that there can be a system that gives energy to some parts that doesn't generate energy. This is nature. It's not philosophy or ideology. It's just nature. This is why usually the philosophies of communism and socialism fail. And when they fail, they give the power to the capitalism that destroys everything. It's neither one, neither the other. Victory equal life. The vibration for today is